Have you ever wondered where gods came from? Not just the ones in temples or scriptures, but the idea of God itself. Let me take you back, far back, before civilization, before kings, even before language. Back then, humans were just another species, walking forests, surviving storms, facing death, birth, and mysteries they couldn't explain. One night, lightning struck a tree, setting it ablaze. Everyone ran, except one. He stood there, in awe. The fire danced, roared, and warmed the air. It had power, but it also destroyed. That night, the first seed of God was planted, not as a person, but as a force beyond understanding. As humans evolved, so did their minds. They began to ask, why does the sun rise? Where do we go after death? Who makes the crops grow and the rains fall? In the face of the unknown, the mind created meaning. Meaning became belief. Belief became stories. And from stories, gods were born. The sun became a god. So did the moon. The rivers, the mountains, even fear itself were given names, shapes, and rituals. People didn't just believe in gods, they needed them. Gods explained the chaos. They gave comfort during grief. They gave answers where there were none. And soon, gods were not just nature. They were within us. But humans are not content with the invisible. They wanted to see God, touch God, offer to God. So they began building altars, then shrines, and eventually, temples. The temple wasn't just a place of worship. It was a mirror of the universe, built with sacred geometry, aligned with stars, and designed to awaken something deep inside the human soul. It was the place where the divine met the human. And as civilizations rose, India, Egypt, Mesopotamia, Greece, the temples grew more grand, more complex. Stone by stone, we carved our devotion into reality. And why? Because deep inside, we weren't just building temples for God. We were building them for ourselves, to remember what it meant to be human. Then came a moment in human history, when people began to turn inward. Humans arrived, and as their minds grew quieter, they began to question why the mind isn't always peaceful. To seek this very peace, temples were created, places where people discovered the reasons behind mental calmness. Those who attained inner peace shared the wisdom of living a tranquil life with us through various sacred texts, such as the Roman scriptures, Tirukural, Bhagavad Gita, Quran, Bible, and Bahubali's teachings. Only those who truly understood the meaning of these texts gained real peace and knowledge. If you want to become like a sage and you practice every day, then one day you will become like them. But if you only keep worshipping their photos daily, you will never truly become like them. Isn't that right? This idea changed everything. Temples were no longer just places to worship an external god, but places to discover the God within, to master the mind, understand the self, and find the stillness that we now call peace. Over time, gods began to reflect society. When we valued war, gods had weapons. When we valued love, gods became romantic. When we feared death, gods became eternal. And as we evolved, so did they. Some gods disappeared. New gods appeared. But one thing remained constant: the human need for meaning. And so we kept building, praying, and telling stories. Not because gods demanded it, but because we did. You might think temples are just ancient relics, but they're not. Today's temples look different. They're yoga studios, they're meditation centers, they're even YouTube channels like this one, where people gather, seeking something greater than themselves. The real temple is the mind, and the real God, that's the awareness watching everything. So the next time you walk past a temple or see a statue of a god, don't just think of it as stone. Think of it as a message from your ancestors. A message that says, yes, the world is mysterious. Yes, the mind is restless. But inside, you is something timeless. Find it, worship it, build your own temple within. And remember, gods were not just created to be worshipped. They were created to inspire us, to rise above fear, to live with purpose, and to awaken the divine potential that was always hidden inside. If this story made you think, reflect, or smile, subscribe, like, and share it with someone who still believes that temples are only made of stone. Because maybe, just maybe, you are the temple.